Hello and happy Valentine's Day. This is the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks a lot for taking some time away from cuddling your sweetie to join us for some hot romantic local news. Here's a few of the stories we are following for you tonight. The cause of death for a Grant County jail inmate who passed away in custody is revealed by a forensic exam, and Washington prepares to punch back against funding decisions and other initiatives announced by the Trump administration. Next week's weather stands to be practically balmy by comparison. Our second-string weatherman Dan Kuntz says temperatures are poised to push into the low 40s. That's coming up later on in our newscast. First, however, our top story tonight. Wenatchee School District Superintendent Kory Kalahar was fined by the State Public Disclosure Commission this week over his response to the first edition of a political mailer that called itself the Wenatchee Record. The mailer was sent in 2023 ahead of the November election and targeted the district over its student performance and alleged ideological influences in its curriculum. In response, Kalahar sent emails to district employees calling the mailer, quote, political propaganda, and Communications Director Diana Hagland made a Facebook post saying the mailer had, quote, false narratives and misleading headlines. The PDC says those steps amount to improper campaigning by public officials. Kalahar was fined $600, and Hagland has been issued a warning by the PDC. A man found dead on New Year's Eve while incarcerated at the Grant County Jail died from sepsis that followed an earlier bicycle crash. That's the finding from the Grant County coroner and the multi-agency police team investigating the death. 31-year-old Richard Lambert of Moses Lake was found deceased in his cell. An autopsy found that he died from septic peritonitis. Lambert had crashed his bike and received an abdominal injury 2 days before his arrest. The Columbia Basin investigative team says there was no sign of other trauma, neglect, or use of force that could have contributed to his death. The case is still under review, and independent medical experts will evaluate those findings. The YMCA of Wenatchee recently received its building permit for a new 2-story building planned for 5th Street and Wenatchee Avenue. NCWLIFE's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley host Dan Kuntz spoke with Wenatchee YMCA Director Dory Foster to get the inside scoop on the upcoming construction timeline and its costs.
Where are we sitting now? I think a little over $22 million in the bank?
Over $22 million we've raised, which is a very successful campaign in and of itself. We have lots of things that are still variable. We have some state money that's pending. We're asking for a legislative spending request right now for this session with House Representative Ibarra and Senator Short. We redistricts through all of this, right? So we got 12, but now working with 7, they've been so receptive and they're as excited as we are. So I'm grateful for that. So lots of things planned, and most importantly, when the last less than a month, what was it, January and maybe a week or two of December, we raised over $4.5 million. So we have a lot of generous supporters out there, and one of those gifts was a grant actually from the Murdoch Trust, so shout out to them as well. And we got our guaranteed maximum price from Absher as our contractor. We got our guaranteed maximum price. It was actually slightly less than it was in August, which was their assumption in August because we weren't going to construction then. But anyway, long short, the board agreed that we are moving ahead with construction in March. So the team is deploying to the site March 10th. We're going to have our formal groundbreaking ceremony April 10th. And I'm told by the contractors it could be a 16 to 18 month build. So
that's actually pretty aggressive, isn't it?
That's very aggressive, but we have all of our long lead items. The fleet service shop on campus has been a great storage unit for all of that. So lots of big equipment in there that we've already pre-purchased. And so the long lead items are gone. We've got permits in hand from both the state and the city. We're ready to rock and roll. So we could be in the new building by the end of 2026.
And the demolition crew is doing things the right way. If it is recyclable, they've recycled like 200 tons of steel or something like that?
And that we weren't even done with that. I don't even know what the final number was, but yeah, I'm really proud of that team and how they handled everything. And everybody was worried about the old timber in the old tech shop. That was all repurposed.
The last of 5 defendants in a Wenatchee drug conspiracy case that went federal has been sentenced to probation. 38-year-old Sean James Drummond of East Wenatchee pleaded guilty last October in U.S. District Court in Spokane to 1 count of possession of fentanyl with intent to distribute. Judge Mary Dimke sentenced him to time he's already served in jail, plus 5 years on federal supervision. Drummond told the court his own addiction led him to fall in with a group of 4 other men importing and selling fentanyl throughout the Wenatchee Valley in 2022. The group was broken up that year by the Columbia River Drug Task Force. The other 4 conspirators are all now serving or have served terms ranging from a year and a day in local jail up to 6 years in federal prison. When we come back, the state Supreme Court says Seattle police have no right to stay anonymous while they're suing to suppress records of their involvement in the January 6th uprising. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. We'll be right back.
What are the best words you can hear tonight?
Order ready for Susan.
And if you hear those words at Abby's, you know it's going to be a legendary meal. Your pizza is loaded with toppings to the edge, premium ingredients, and real cheese. Yeah, baby. Gather with friends, play some video games, and watch the big game on TV. That's made Abby's a legendary pizza tradition for generations. And when you're ready to hear those magic words,
Tom, your order's ready.
you know where to go. You're always welcome at Abby's.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A Bridgeport man arrested in October after a report of abuse pleaded guilty to 2nd and 3rd degree charges of child rape. 48-year-old Antonio Jimenez Ovando faces sentencing this spring in Douglas County Superior Court. Sheriff's deputies arrested Ovando after a 14-year-old child disclosed incidents of sexual abuse. In exchange for his guilty plea, Douglas County prosecutors withdrew 1 charge of 4th degree assault. They say if evaluators with the Department of Corrections agree, Ovando could be sentenced to rehabilitative treatment as part of his prison term. While describing the start of President Donald Trump's 2nd term as chaotic, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson said Thursday the state is prepared to fight the administration to protect its values. Washington currently has 4 lawsuits ongoing to challenge Trump's policies on immigration, gender-affirming care, and spending freezes. In his first press conference as governor, Ferguson said the president's halt on grant funding threatens several major state initiatives.
Washington State receives, as some of you know, approximately $27 billion in federal funding in the last fiscal year. That's approximately 1/3 of our state budget. As you also know, a significant amount of funding was frozen or threatened to be frozen in the last 3 weeks, including the Department of Transportation's hydrogen stations, DNR wildlife preparations, and NIH funding to research institutions. Currently, as of this morning, and this is moving target pretty much every day, currently $162 million in federal funds are frozen that we're aware of. Most of that is in the Department of Commerce, $156 million from the Solar for All program and $3 million under the Climate Pollution Reduction Planning Grant.
There are 2 major crises that we are facing right now. One, the illegal freeze of federal energy funds, and the other is a push for a dangerous trade war. Families and businesses and jobs are at risk, and those who are most impacted likely will be from rural communities, farmers, overburdened communities, and the like.
The Seattle police officers who attended the Stop the Steal event in support of President Trump on January 6, 2021, don't have the right to keep their names out of the public court record. That's the ruling Thursday from the Washington Supreme Court. 6 officers were investigated for their part in the rally, which ended with hundreds of people storming the U.S. Capitol, where Congress was certifying the election of Joe Biden as president. 2 of the Seattle officers were fired. When private citizens sought police records of the investigation, the officers sued anonymously to keep the records private, saying they did nothing wrong on January 6th. The Supreme Court's 5-4 ruling says the police have failed to show that they had a right to privacy over records pertaining to a highly public incident. Well, coming up next, Foothills Magazine, a publication of the Wenatchee World, looks inside the slow flower movement and how local growers and florists are remaking the Valentine's market. And substitute meteorologist Dan Kuntz, who, much like a substitute teacher, can be constructively ignored, will have your weather forecast just ahead. Please stay with us.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you. The relatives, friends, and neighbors helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. What could be better for Valentine's Day than flowers, except chocolate? Wenatchee Valley artisans Macy Harris and Rachel Burgoon spent this week processing about 16 arrangements of flowers for the romantic holiday. Harris creates floral arrangements for big events like weddings and often purchases her flowers from Burgoon, who owns a 1-acre flower farm in Sunny Slope. Right now, Burgoon is seeding next year's crop of flowers in her garage. The 2 of them are featured in the January-February edition of Foothills Magazine, available now on newsstands. They chatted with us about the benefit of buying flowers locally and what's been trending for Valentine's Day.
My name is Macy Harris. I own Barefoot Florals in East Wenatchee. I specialize in weddings and events in North Central Washington, and in 2025 I'm going to start branching out and doing some more single-time special occasion arrangement deliveries as well.
And I'm Rachel Burgoon. We have Feathers and Flowers Farm. We're a cut flower farm here in Wenatchee. We offer CSA subscriptions for flowers. We also sell wholesale to florists like Macy, and we are also going to be doing some classes this year, and we also offer one-time orders for birthdays or special occasions.
Yeah, when I started my business in 2022, I was looking for a florist to buy from, local in East Wenatchee, and I found Rachel on Instagram, and we started chatting, and we've been working on weddings together ever since.
Yep, I got an email from Macy that was like, I'd love to buy local flowers, and I said, I have local flowers for you. What do you need?
I specialize in weddings and events, so I like to do like the big arches, all your bridesmaid bouquets, tablescapes and everything. I like to do big flowers. I can do anything from you just want to pick up your bouquets and your boutonnieres because you don't necessarily want to DIY them, and I can do that kind of order. I can come to your venue and set up freestanding flower pillars, kind of whatever brides can dream up. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. Yeah,
she can do it.
So I really love weddings. That's kind of where my passion is. I like to make brides happy on their happy day.
I offer CSA subscriptions. So that's a flower subscription that starts in April and it ends all the way to October. The reason people sign up for the whole thing is because they love to watch it go from season to season to season. So you'll get your tulips in the spring and your lilacs and your irises and your peonies, and then it transitions into these like delicate, like early summer flowers. So they get to see the seasons change through the subscriptions. And then Macy loves the huge weddings, and I really love the DIY weddings. So I can sell brides just a bucket of blooms, And I can also just do their bouquet. So if someone's nervous about a bouquet, which I learned my techniques from Macy. So, you know, she could have a huge wedding that weekend and I can still do my DIY wedding that has buckets, blooms, a bouquet, a boutonniere, and they can pick those up or I deliver them. Something that's special about local flowers is usually when I get to Macy, they look like this. They are in a bucket, there's no plastic, there are rubber bands just for organization.
Usually they have to come in buckets.
Yeah, they come in boxes
yeah.
and they're wrapped and they're hauled in from a plane, a truck, all these things, but a local flower will come in just a bucket just like this. And my approach to Valentine's Day this year was for my class that I'm offering on the 12th. And since I don't have any flowers right now, I headed over to Seattle Wholesale Growers Market to pick up these flowers. That's where they came from. So these are all Washington and California grow. That's as close to local as we can get right now.
Yep.
But I did specifically pick things like this ranunculus. We grow thousands of ranunculus in the spring. Oh, we missed that one.
True, that's a favorite.
So spring. So I picked for my class flowers that I grow so I can show the people that are attending what they can get locally in just a few short months and get them excited about what we grow.
I'm seeing like a lot of monochrome arrangements. So monochrome is just one color and you use different tones of that color in the arrangement to give it more variety. You can use like different shaped flowers, lots of different textures. But like my biggest seller this year is a pink monochrome bouquet.
It is absolutely a dream to grow something from a seed and then put it in directly into a bouquet or an arrangement and deliver it to a local customer. It's so rewarding. You can visit our website, which is www.feathersandflowers.net to see examples of what we offer, as well as picking up the newest edition of Foothills magazine and seeing work that Macy and I worked on and together and individually.
My website is barefootfloralswa.com. Same thing on Instagram also. So you can see lots of collaboration between Rachel and I, and we were also featured in Foothills magazine together on the latest edition.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson on this Valentine's Day. For all of you sweethearts out there, happy birthday. There is, of course, our weather camera. That's the 17th hole right there at Kaler Glen. 2 years ago, I actually bogeyed it. I was really, really happy. Great shot, of course, from our Lake Wenatchee camera. Well, we're done with the super cold weather. Done, thank goodness. But it's going to take us a little while to warm up to where we should be. First of all, snow tonight. No, not really much. We're in the shadow of the Cascades. Now, Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to get a little dusting of snow, maybe up to an inch. Quite a bit of snow, by the way, on Stevens Pass Saturday night into Sunday. Quick heads up on that, but we're going to dodge the snow bullet, as it were, tonight and into the early morning hours of Saturday. 32 today. Our normal high is 41. We're not going to see that till the middle of next week. And our overnight low is 19 degrees. I'm liking these longer days. We're still gaining about 3 minutes and 20 seconds of daylight every day throughout the course of February, but you wouldn't know it with the chilly temperatures, no real radiant heat. But we're going to see some cloud cover, which means those overnight lows are going to be a little more tolerable. And a gradual warming trend is heading our way, although it's all relative. 35 for Moses Lake on Saturday, 34 for Freda, 34 in Quincy. Omak, you're going to get a little bit of snow, and you have a little bit of snow on the ground. That's going to keep your afternoon high a little cooler. Same deal with Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee. The snow on the ground will keep the heat from really warming you up much compared to, say, Wenatchee or Aniat or Chelan. The more snow you have, the colder it has a tendency to get. There's the weather maker, which really isn't a weather maker in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. That's the low pressure system. It's spinning around, doing what it does, taking some of that warmer air, not particularly moist air, but warmer air, channeling it up our way, and that's what we're dealing with. Saturdays, we just show you for the graph, no snow, no flakes there to show you. It's going to be a nice day on Saturday. In fact, all things considered, as far as sunshine, we could see a little bit on Saturday. No sunshine at all on Sunday. A little bit of snow is in the forecast Saturday night into early Sunday morning. When it's all said and done, about an inch of snow, light powdery snow. Not a lot of water content. Monday, close to our normal high of 40 degrees. By the way, of course, Monday is a holiday. A lot of folks have Monday off. Enjoy. We don't. We'll be working here. Well, we won't be working real hard. Tuesday, about 39, and we start talking about maybe a little bit of rain on Tuesday and into the early part of Wednesday. Sunshine returns on Wednesday. Again, our normal high temperature this time of the year is 41. It's going to take us a little while to get there, but by the time we get to Thursday of next week, which seems like an eternity, finally back up into the lower 40s. This has been a very long stretch of some pretty chilly temperatures with record overnight lows Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Thank goodness we're done with that. Again, up to 41 on Thursday, which is probably going to feel more like 61. So to recap, as we head you into your holiday weekend, and I do hope you have a 3-day weekend, some sun breaks this afternoon, as you probably have already noticed. We'll top off at 32, 22 for the overnight low tonight. A couple of snowflakes late Saturday afternoon, overnight Saturday night into Sunday. It'll be done by about 9 a.m. on Sunday. No more than an inch at the very most, maybe an inch and a half, depending on your elevation. And remember, some significant snow in the Cascades Saturday night into Sunday, and Mission Ridge is going to get a pretty good dose too. And then right around that 40-degree mark with fairly cloudy skies Monday and Tuesday. No real snow in the forecast. Next snow event, and it's really not going to be much of one there, will be on Wednesday and on into Thursday, when we finally hit that 41-degree mark, which is our normal high this time of the year. All right, that's your forecast. Our good buddy Eric Granstrom has sports, and he does it well. And it's next. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
Happy Valentine's Day. The U.S. certainly didn't show much love for the Finns last night at the Four Nations face-off. The U.S. team took Finland to the woodshed in a 6-1 victory. Seattle Kraken Kaapo Kakko had no impact for the Finns last night. Finland takes on Sweden tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on ABC. The U.S. faces Canada tomorrow afternoon at 5. That's also on ABC. Well, Gonzaga came from behind to beat San Francisco last night in Spokane. 88-77, men's college basketball we're talking. Graham Ike was the key component to the Bulldogs' comeback, which became a free throw fest down the stretch.
Leading by 1. Here's Hickman, runner, good!
Or smaller guard needs in their arsenal. A Steve Nash 1-foot runner and a Tony Parker 2-foot floater. You couldn't have been happy. This is your senior point guard. You should have the experience, the IQ, the understanding of what
Ike hits a 3, and he can do that.
And there's only 2 teams in the country that have that, Gonzaga and Kentucky.
Great positioning for Ike, and then Nembhard, he makes that entry pass. Nembhard had it poked away. Ajayi came away with it, though, and Ajayi scored. Nembhard finds a way to get it to Ike. Almost traveled, somehow made the shot. Pull up, free throw line. Got it.
He's been spectacular in that pick and roll throughout the night. A 1 or a 2 seed, really having some concern about their second round matchup.
Hickman banks it in. 31 in a row. They've lost to Gonzaga. 36 in a row in Spokane. It's sort of hard to believe. They controlled the first half. They got blitzed in the second half. And the final score, 88-77 Zags.
On the men's schedule tomorrow, Washington visits Penn State at 11 a.m. on the Big Ten Network. Eastern Washington hosts Idaho at 4 o'clock on ESPN+. Gonzaga remains home against Pepperdine. That's at 7, also on ESPN+. Washington State visits St. Mary's tomorrow. That's at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. The Washington State women came out on top of Loyola Marymount 63-51. Gonzaga topped Oregon State on the road in overtime 66-62, the final there. Eastern Washington hosts Idaho tomorrow at 1 o'clock, while Gonzaga entertains Loyola Marymount. Washington State plays at Portland at 3. All those games are available on ESPN+. On Sunday, Haley Van Lith and the TCU Horned Frogs play at Arizona. That's at 1 o'clock on ESPN+. Washington hosts 6th-rated USC Sunday afternoon at 4. That'll be on the Big Ten Network. The Wenatchee Wild, after enduring a 2,600-mile road trip, playing 8 games in 11 days, are finally back home at the Town Toyota Center for a couple of games this weekend. Wenatchee's hosting Portland at the Town Toyota Center tonight at 7 o'clock. Seattle Thunderbirds follow suit on Sunday at 4. If you want tickets, go to WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Well, girls from smaller schools around the region are gathering for their district wrestling tournament. That is today, as a matter of fact. District 5 tournament is taking place at Granger High School. Is that the one that gets it done? Wrestlers from Cascade, Kashmir, Chelan, Lake Roosevelt, Liberty Bell, and 11 other schools are participating in that. District 5 1A boys tournament is tomorrow at Wapato, with the best of the CTL taking on the best of the SCAC. Everyone is vying for a trip to MAC Classic. That's next weekend in Tacoma. The regular season finale for the Big Nine wrapped up last night in boys and girls basketball. The Sunnyside girls held on to beat Moses Lake 41-37. Davis whipped up on Wenatchee 82-22. Eastmont had no trouble dispatching Eisenhower 63-38. The Wildcats will host Sunnyside Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the district play-in game. Sunnyside's comeback bid fell short against Moses Lake in boys play last night, with the Mavericks coming out on top 67-66. Davis ended Wenatchee's season 100-65. Eastmont fell to Eisenhower 73-58. The Eastmont boys will play at Moses Lake in a play-in game next Tuesday. District 5 1A tournament continues tonight, with Chelan at Zilla and Kashmir visiting Royal in the semifinals at 6 o'clock. Omak visits Kauna-Benton, while Waloot plays at Wapato in loser-out games. Kashmir girls were victorious in the first round of the District 5 1A girls tournament last night, downing Royal 53-32. Natchez Valley beat Cascade 51-30. Wapato crushed Chelan 89-59. Kai B visits Zilla tonight. Kashmir plays at Natchez Valley in the semifinals tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Cascade faces a loser-out game at Royal. The loser between Kai B and Zilla plays at Chelan in another loser-out game. That's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Okanagan kept its season alive with a big 85-41 win over Granger at the District 5 2B tournament in Moses Lake last night. Tenasket ended Mabton's season with a 58-53 victory. Liberty Bell moved on in the championship bracket, downing Tri-Cities Prep 65-52. Okanagan and Tenasket play a loser-out game tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Liberty Bell faces Columbia Burbank at 12:30. LaSalle and Lake Roosevelt play one another at 12:30 as well. Girls 2B tournament saw Tenasket and Kittitas season ending, that is, Kittitas season 54-34. It was Tri-Cities Prep dropping Lake Roosevelt out of the tournament 53-41. Mabton topped Okanagan 79-30. Coming up tomorrow, Brewster faces Columbia Burbank in the semis at 11 a.m. Tenasket plays Tri-Cities Prep in a loser-out contest at 12:30. Waterville is the site for the District 5 1B tournament today, with Cascade Christian facing the Shockers first. That's followed by Wilson Creek and Soap Lake. Both games are loser-out contests. In the 1B tournament at Wilson Creek last night, Wilson Creek ended Entiat's season 36-27, while Soap Lake dropped Moses Lake Christian from the tournament 37-31. Tomorrow's 3 o'clock games have Soap Lake at Waterville Mansfield, while Pateras hosts Wilson Creek. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend, and again, happy Valentine's Day.
And that will do it for our newscast this Friday. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And please remember, if you see news happening, we do like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You can expect Grant Olson back here on Monday night. In the meantime, happy Valentine's Day.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station based right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Be sure to tune in for coverage of local sports. Once again, this spring we'll bring you prep boys soccer, baseball, and softball. In addition, we're adding Wenatchee Bighorn basketball in March, April, and May. It's all right here on the NCW Life channel, our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as our website at ncwlife.com.